everybody. Thank you. I guess everybody, welcome. Everybody, I think, knows me. I'm Christine Jansen, the owner of Heart of the Valley Travel. And I get to host you guys on this amazing trip. I can't wait. And I brought my team. I've got Mandy McKenna and Ann Newhouse along tonight. So they're helping me out. I appreciate that they came. Okay, I had to make notes. I think as we get started, I will hold any questions until the end, so that Jay can get through everything, and we've got a lot of questions already that we were going to chat about, so we'll wait till the end to go through any of your questions. I have a little tablet in your folder, so if you want to make notes, write questions down in there, that's for you guys to keep, so. Right. I had written down, if you're coming along on the trip to Kenya, raise your hand. And almost everybody's coming. Oh, the whole group. Yeah, and so I guess I'm going to be introducing our guests tonight, but before we get started, I thought we'd maybe just take a moment to, and I wanted to ask why you're going to Africa. So if you're willing to share with us, start with me, and I am going because in August of 2010, I was in South Africa, and I did my very first safari, and after that experience, it was amazing, and I vowed I would go back someday, and my bucket list was to do this migration. I just really had a desire to see all these animals migrating, so I am most excited. Well, to see even just one animal, I'll be excited. So that's why I'm going, and I'm celebrating 30 years in business. So it's a little bit of a celebration, you know, to celebrate. Yeah. So does anybody else want to share why they want to go to Africa?
My husband's making my dentist.
Well, I always, growing up as a kid, just always liked watching like the animal shows and everything else, and we haven't gone on a trip in 10 years because I've got rheumatoid arthritis, so it's really hard to walk and stuff. So when we were going to go on a trip, where were we going to go again? We were going to go see the monarchs in Mexico, and then COVID hit. So then I talked to her what else could go and what could I do that wouldn't involve a lot of walking. And she showed me this. And I said, well, what the heck, for 10 years that you're not going to get a more exciting place to go see and everything else. So we've been saving up like crazy. And my wife Dar didn't know about it, so she was pretty struck on Easter when she opened up her blindfold and got to see the gift certificate to go.
That's cool.
So it's been a long time since we've been able to go anywhere, so this is going to be real exciting.
Nice.
Anybody else have anything to share?
No? All right. Well, Jay, do you want to get started? This is Jay.
Hey guys.
From Acacia Holidays. He's the gentleman who's behind the scenes getting all these details put together for me. So, yeah.
Thanks.
Betcha.
Thank you, Christine.
Yeah.
Yeah, love being up here. We've been part-time Wisconsin residents for the last 4 or 5 years now. So.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm with Acacia Holidays. We are based right outside of Chicago, a little town called Oak Park. And our operation headquarters is actually in Nairobi. So we own the vehicles. They're our guides. I know who's going to be picking you up from the airport. The founder of our company, he came out of a big safari company called Abercrombie & Kent, and he started his own business almost 15 years ago now. And so he's there in Nairobi. He's a Kenyan, and he runs everything. He'll be there to welcome you guys when you arrive in Nairobi. So you're in good hands. I thought we would go through and I'll tell you a little bit about Africa. It's a big place, and you guys pick, there are a lot of choices. Christine had been in South Africa before. Usually that's the choice people make is east or south. I'll just show you some of the highlights. And then I'll go through the itinerary, which you guys have all seen. So we'll kind of go through it, and then if you've got questions, we'll do them at the end. But okay. Yep. So Africa is a big place. Discover ancient monuments. Thundering Waters. That's Victoria Falls down in Zambia, Zimbabwe. There is a non-stop from Kenya, Nairobi. It goes down there. Endless herds. I know that's why you said you were interested in going. This is in Kenya. Unique cultures. This is the Maasai. This is in Tanzania, but this is the same tribe that you'll see in Kenya, in southern Kenya especially. Exotic islands. This is Zanzibar. It is also right on the Indian Ocean, not too far from Kenya. I took this off my balcony one night. And by the way, the brochures you see and the pictures we have in here, they're not stock photos. They're photos that I've taken or clients have taken. And I like to tell people that because you really do see this. This isn't somebody who was sitting there for 6 hours to get a shot. This is similar to what you'll be seeing. 19341. That is Mount Kilimanjaro. That is on the border, right near the border of Kenya and Tanzania. My mother has climbed it. So when you guys go back next time, it takes about 5 or 6 days, but maybe, you know. Yeah. And then luxury camping. So when people find out that, you know, they're going to be in a tented camp, they don't quite know what to expect. And you know, I've gone to Boy Scout camp and I've done all that. So I know what the range is, but camps tend to be much more like this. It'll be a flat floor, it'll be wood or you know, polished concrete with a rug. It'll have vertical walls. It'll have a fly or a thatched roof over the canvas, so you're not getting little drips on your head if it rains. Ensuite bathroom, hot and cold shower, probably a double vanity. It's very, very comfortable.
Glamping.
It is glamping. You know, this existed before the glamping term came around. So, but yes, that's exactly what this is. Delicious dining. We get a lot of questions about what the food is like, and rightly so. Kenya's on the equator. It has volcanic soil. They grew all this, you know, within 20 miles of this lodge.
Wow.
They can grow anything, everything, avocados, citrus, macadamia nuts, all these fresh vegetables. The Maasai are famous for raising cattle, so the beef is excellent. Yeah, so the food is fantastic. Oh. Sorry about that. Happy hour. This is part of the rhythm of the safari day. Most of your lodges don't have televisions, so that's I think a great thing. So once you're out there for a day or two, you're really into the rhythm of safari. Kenya's on the equator. The sun gets up right around 6. It goes to bed right around 6 every day, all day, every time of the year. And what's nice is at the end of the day, you'll be back at the lodge, and that's when the elephant families like take a drink before they kind of do their thing for the night. So while you're having your beer or your glass of wine or iced tea or whatever it is, by the way, they have awesome tea and coffee. They grow it right there. The elephants are doing the same thing. Family time. This is an excellent trip for families. Once you arrive, all your transfers, all your meals, all your activities, everything is included. So you just have to show up. If you forget your dental floss or your sunscreen, we go and get it the next morning. You know, it's just an easy trip. If you leave your binoculars in the car, they're there the next morning because our driver cleans the car, does the windows, you know, cleans the whole thing out every day. So it's a really like low stress way to travel. I went on safari for the first time with my mother and 2 brothers, younger brothers. I was 13. This was in 1993. When did you start Heart of the Valley? Okay, yeah. So 30 years ago. And so I was 13. My brothers were 10 and 7, 10 and 6. And the then 6-year-old brother still remembers the safari to this day. So there's something about Africa that there just isn't anything quite like it. There are more large animals, there are more large birds, small birds, all kinds of animals, and that they're everywhere. everywhere, and you just can't find it anywhere else. To get the lay of the land, Egypt, Morocco, we call Northern Africa. That's much more Arabic influenced, and it's a fantastic trip. Have you done both of those? Yeah, great trip. East Africa, this is the Great Rift Valley coming through here, and all the really great safari areas tend to be kind of in here. So you've got Ethiopia, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda. Uganda and Rwanda are more known for the gorillas, the mountain gorilla trekking. Tanzania, Kenya, they've got a lot of different stuff going for them, but they're known for their savannas and plains game. And then you get down in South Africa. This is Cape Town down here with the wineries. It's kind of a Mediterranean climate. Namibia is very deserty. Botswana has the Okavango Delta, which if you've seen the nature shows, you've definitely seen the Okavango. And then Zimbabwe and Zambia, also some of my favorite areas. They're much more similar to what you're gonna see in Kenya, Tanzania. But it's a big place. It's 3 times the size of the United States, including Alaska. Tanzania is about the size of Texas. So Kenya is gonna be a little bit smaller than that. This is usually how we start planning a trip, but Christine's already done this for you. You know, how you're gonna balance culture, cities, wildlife, something you must see, specific events, time of year duration. So this one has been planned around the Great Migration. Comes into Kenya in July, August, September, October, and then when you're there in November, they're heading back into the Serengeti. So there are still crossings. It's a really great time to go, November, because all the kids are back in school. It's not crowded. In Kenya, a lot of the places are in national parks. So, you know, imagine going to Yellowstone in the middle of the summer. It's packed. And the same is true in Kenya when you go in July, plus the 3 million wildebeest that are there. So when you're there in November, all the animals, like lions, leopards, warthogs, hyena, they're territorial. They still live there year round. There are resident wildebeest, resident zebras that are there year round, and then you'll still have some of the migratory animals there as well. Traditionally, the rains, they call it the short rains in November. And that would just mean there'd be like a thunderstorm here or there, and it goes away. What's nice about that is that a lot of animals will drop their calves in November. As soon as it rains a little bit, the grass greens up, they'll drop there's a good chance you'll see babies. We've kind of gone through this already, I might skip it. But East African safaris is the classic safari. You know, Kilimanjaro, Serengeti, Masai Mara. There are all sorts of add-ons and combinations you can do, but this is the big show. We picked well. And again, a little bit about us. We're a family-owned company. That's our founder, Joshua. And these are our sales reps around the country. You know, Chuck, obviously. And this is the board meeting in the Masai Mara on the Mara River. But yeah, we're right outside of Chicago. We do lots of groups. We own our vehicles. We've used our guides for 20 years. You know, Joshua's known a lot of them for a lot longer than that. And yeah, we do all of Africa, but our specialty, our home is in East Africa. So we'll go through the safari itinerary now. But again, this is, actually that's the back of my head.
Is that close?
You get much closer. So this is a really great shot of just a shot of what you're going to see on safari. You're going to be in our. We have Land Cruisers. They're totally customized. They have these roofs that come up. So when you're going from place to place on the highway, and the drives are usually 3.5 hours at the most. You'll have the top down, usually. And then when you get into the game parks, we pop it up. So when you get close to a sighting, everybody's got a window seat. Everybody's got a captain's chair window seat. We've got an electric cooler in there, so there's plenty of water, snacks, things like that. Charge points for your cameras and your phones and everything else. But yeah, this is kind of how you see it. And they do get that close. So let's go to your itinerary. this is the migration. The wildebeest have to cross a couple of rivers to get from Tanzania to Kenya. But really what they do is they walk in a big circle year round. The Serengeti is Illinois, the Masai Mara is Wisconsin, and they go from, Rockford to Madison and back again, over and over. That's kind of what they do. So they'll be heading back south by the time you're there. You gotta do it this way, don't I? All right, your itinerary is a nice pace. You've got one night when you get into Nairobi. We'll talk about flights later, but you'll have you'll have some time to acclimatize. Nairobi actually is a few feet higher than Denver, 5,310 or something like that. And it's there because the British didn't like the heat down at the Indian Ocean coast in Mombasa. They needed somewhere a little bit, drier and cooler. And that's why Nairobi is where it is. They have fresh water and it was cooler. So you're gonna get in and we're gonna meet you right at the airport and take you right to the hotel. We've got you at the Norfolk. That is the Drake Hotel. It's the classic hotel. It was opened in 1902, and it's gone through renovations and changes and additions, but it's still the same hotel. If you've seen Out of Africa, I think that was 85, 86, and they probably will have it on your flight. Yeah, the core of that you can see in the movie. Next morning, you're going to set out. You are going to go north to the highlands. So south of Nairobi is Mount Kilimanjaro, but north of Nairobi is Mount Kenya. And that's the second highest mountain in Africa. It is a big shield volcano, and the slopes are all cultivated. It's all volcanic soil. They're cultivated macadamia plantations, coffee plantations, tea, avocados, all that stuff is grown right there. So you're going to go up out of the city, up around Mount Kenya, and you're going to be in a reserve called Olpejida, and a camp called Sweetwaters. So Olpejida used to be the old colonial governor of Kenya's cattle ranch. The animals had always lived in this area, but back in colonial times, he converted it to a ranch. Back in the 60s and 70s, they realized they could make a lot more money letting it go wild again than using it as a cattle ranch. But that's why there's such a big chunk of land there. It's a private reserve, so they have their own rules. They limit the number of cars that can be at a sighting. But what's really special about Olpejida is the rhinos. They have, I don't know what the latest count is, but it's somewhere north of 150 rhinos. And you're not going to see density like that in very many places anywhere in the world. They're heavily protected. But what's great, in some places like in Tanzania, you go to the crater, the Ngorongoro crater, and they have 2 rhino hanging out over here. And it's great and it's really nice to see them. But when you go here, you see family groups. You see a mom with 2 calves. You see them interacting, and it's special. So you're going to get there around lunchtime, get settled in, and then go out on game drives. A typical day, and there are variations, but you get up, breakfast is 7 to 8, something like that. You've got a minute or 2 to grab what you need, and you're out the door by 8, 9 o'clock, depends on what you're doing. The key is, you're under equatorial sun, so the key is to get out early while it's still cool. The animals are a lot more active. You go out, you do your thing. If in Olpejida, you'll probably come back to camp and have your lunch. You can take a swim. The Kenyans, like the British, are big on tea. Anything's an excuse for tea. So in the afternoon, they'll set up, coffee and tea and iced tea and cookies and things like that. But then you'll go back out once it gets cooler again and the animals are more active. And you'll be out until dusk, and then come back for a beer and dinner. They have excellent beer there. You've got 2 more nights so 2 nights at Sweetwaters, that's tented. 2 nights at Samburu. I will show you the camp as I talk about that. That is a really, really neat place, and I'm really thrilled you're going to it. It's got species that you don't find anywhere else in Kenya, and you don't find in Tanzania. You're going to be crossing the equator when you go into Samburu. I think I counted, you're going to cross the equator at least 4 times. 1 flying in, 1 going up, 1 coming back. and then again when you leave. So, and you will stop and have a chance to take your picture on the equator, I promise. In Old Pageta though, you can get your GPS out and it says 0, 0, 0.
No way.
0, 0, 0.
Nowhere.
And then Mount Kenya, boom, is right there. It's awesome. Okay, so you're up in Samburu, and then you fly down to Masai Mara, which is awesome because that would be a long drive. It's a really cool way to see the countryside, how varied it is. You realize how volcanic it is when you're up there. And then you get down into the Masai Mara, and it is just grasslands. You'll see the big rift escarpment on one side. There's some rivers going through it. It's pretty flat, so they're kind of lazy, meandering rivers. They're full of crocs and hippos and occasionally wildebeest. And this is one of the best places in the world to go on safari. The grasslands can just support a huge amount of grazing animals, which means they can support a huge number of predators. There's not a lot of places to hide, so you do see the animals. So like in South Africa, it's wonderful, but it's much more woody and thickets. And so if you're there in green season and it greens up and it leaves out, you don't see anything. I mean, you do, but they're hiding. Yeah. Here, they're just all out there for everyone to see. So let's take a look. Anybody have any questions about kind of the pace or anything like that? No? It's a good map. Nairobi's kind of down in the middle, down in the center there. You're going to go up around Mount Kenya to Sweetwaters, up again to Samburu, fly down to the Masai Mara, and then I believe you fly back to Nairobi. It saves you probably a total of 10, 11 hours driving if you were to do it otherwise, so that's great. And it's fun, you just land on these little airstrips. Some are dirt, some are grass, some are paved, some are gravel. Yeah, and some of you just kind of hop from lodge to lodge. This is Nairobi. It has changed tremendously since I first saw it in 1993. It is really the hub of East Africa. They're building everywhere, but the Norfolk is one of the things that really hasn't changed. And it's a real slice of old Nairobi. It is really cool. You have, you're gonna see, okay, here we go. There's the Norfolk. Like you can tell it's been around forever. It is a great place to hang out. It's an oasis, just in the middle of Kenya. You'll have breakfast here on the terrace. Everybody's got a deluxe courtyard room, I believe. So you're gonna look at this and not at something else. You won't want to leave until you get to the next place, and then you'll be okay. Here's Old Pageta. That is Mount Kenya in the background. And it goes, I mean, it's cropped off here, but it goes all the way up that way, all the way out that way. Sometimes on a hazy day, you can't see the ends of it. It is known for its rhino. It, of course, has leopard, lion, zebra, tons of birds. Old Pageta has a chimpanzee sanctuary as well. Now, the chimps are native to Africa, but over in Uganda, where there's more forest. And this is a rescue facility. It's affiliated with the Jane Goodall Foundation, and so these are chimps that have been, rescued from the pet trade or something else. And they have a really neat sanctuary in Old Pageta, so you're going to go see that one after. This is the camp called Sweetwaters. It is built around an old colonial home. That's where you're gonna have your meals. Big fireplace. There's gonna be the bar, big fireplace, a library, all that. There's a wonderful watering hole right there that all the tents are laid out around, and you do get rhino coming up to drink out of that, which is really cool. These are the tents. They are raised up on platforms. Again, they're either twin or double configuration. They have a bathroom attached, hot water, 24 hours a day, electricity. I don't know if that's a picture of why it's in there. There you go, there's the main house. And some of these places are at elevation, so it's kind of the best of both worlds. It cools off well, really nicely at night, and then as soon as the equatorial sun comes up, it warms up nicely. So I'm probably overdressed. I would probably be wearing shorts. If you get hot easily, shorts are fine. We'll get into what to wear and all that later. All right, this is Old Pajetta. The food is excellent. Mornings are, almost to order. Fresh fruit, fresh salads, great meat. We do have camel rides. We'll see about that, yeah. Here's what your tent's gonna be like the first night. And they turn them down every night. That means they'll go see, mosquitoes especially. They'll go through, make sure there aren't any mosquitoes hiding anywhere in the corners. They'll fog the corners, and so you can sleep peacefully and relax. But that'll be 2 nights. So at least 3 full game drives, and you're gonna see a ton right off the bat, which is great. Then you head north to the Samburu area. It's much drier up there. The Samburu are another tribe that are cousins of the Maasai. They're a little bit more fun, I think. They're a little friendlier, although the Maasai are plenty friendly. And this is one of the greatest places. If you're interested in culture, this is an awesome place. The camp has a great program. You'll learn about the Bushman ways, plants and things that they use. But what's great about Samburu, and this is true for any kind of game viewing, if you know where the water is, you know where the animals are. So in a place that's very arid like Samburu, they have a permanent river that goes through it, and that's where the animals, at some point, all have to go. And that means you're gonna see a lot of everything. It is paradise for leopards. They love it there. There are a lot of them. Yep. And you'll get these big, broad, sandy, muddy rivers. Elephants, you're gonna see baby elephants playing in the river. Oh, it's great. So you'll see these are the Samburu. You can tell they're different from the Maasai because of the clothing. It's brighter, kind of color block. I call them they're like the cool West Coast peasants, of the Maasai. And you're at Samburu Intrepids. I've stayed here. I love it. They have a great program. We might be able to do some dining outside, but it's right along the river. And so you will, a lot of these camps are open, unfenced, and the animals generally don't go into camp. They avoid people, but you'll get some walking through once in a while, and they'll tell you just what the protocol is. After dark, you just don't want to surprise a buffalo or a hippo or an elephant, so you'll have a guide who will take you to your tent after dark. But daytime, it's fine to walk around camp. This is a really fun camp. I really had a great time here. Food is excellent. At any point, if there's anything you guys need, special requests, they will bend over backwards for you. We got our tents here. They're right along the river, nice and spacious. Mosquito netting you're going to have in all your camps. So when they turn down the room, they'll put the mosquito netting down, and you can just relax and have a nice peaceful night's sleep. We've got 2 nights there. Same thing, you're gonna get up, you're gonna leave Old Pajetta, drive up, you'll get there around lunchtime. Unpack, go out in the afternoon, and then the next day will be a full day of game drives. You'll either come back, if all the game happens to be around camp, you'll go out and come back for lunch. If it happens to be farther away, they'll pack a picnic lunch, and you'll go out and stay out all day. All right, then you're gonna fly down to the Masai Mara, which is a great move, it saves you a lot of time. And this is a great shot of the Masai Mara. It's grassland. You'll see the acacia tree here and there, and that's the Great Rift Escarpment in the background. And it is just full of animals, as far as you can see. One of the densest, it can support one of the densest herbivore herds anywhere in the world. You'll see family of elephant. You'll see the little critters that eat all the other things, as cute as they are. There's some really big, because of the number of grazers they have there, you get these really big lion prides. And they're easy to find. You just, midday, they're all beached out under a tree. It's too hot for them. So you'll see lots of lion. They do have plenty of leopard. You should see some cubs. And this is a great picture of the rivers. They're kind of slow, lots of bends in them, and lots of hippos and crocs and fun stuff in there. Now this is your lodge. This is, instead of being a tented camp, this is a lodge style. It is way up at the top of a hill. And so this is a picture of the lobby, standing in front of. And you pull up into the turnaround, and they have this huge 2-story glass window, and you just can see for miles. And it's all done with kind of like local artisans, and the design is really funky. It's a great place. It's just a really neat place. You got a bird's eye view of everything. This is big enough that they do have a gym if you do need to exercise or you go crazy. There are plenty of people like that. They have a steam room now. They did a renovation a couple years ago. So if you just need to kind of chill out, or if you need to exercise a little bit, you can get that here. And then I'll look for a picture of it, but the way it's laid out is you've got the big lodge at the top. There's a swimming pool at all these places, by the way, so bring your suit. And then it's got 2 wings of rooms, and they all look, it slopes down, and they all look out towards the plains. Let's see if we got a picture of there's a picture of the rooms. Again, everything you need. There's a swimming pool with an excellent view. And you'll be on game drives just like this over here. That, our car is a slightly different color, but the idea is exactly the same. It's going to have windows on the side and then the pop-up top. So you're going to get to feel very comfortable around the animals, but even at first, you've got a little barrier, you can kind of ease into it. And the animals don't look at they look at the car as kind of this thing that doesn't compute. And my guides will explain it better, but so, if a lion walks up, it looks at the car and then it just goes on with its life, because it's neither friend nor foe nor food. It's like a rock to them. It's like, okay, I've got something else to do, which means they're not looking at you inside the car and thinking you're nice to eat. So you'll kind of get a feel for it really quickly. They take a look and they're like, all right, cool. But that does mean that they're not afraid of the vehicles, and they do sometimes walk right past them. This is a great picture of the rooms. They are really funky, but they are very comfortable. They all have great views. Ensuite bathrooms. Those are little cheetah cubs. Oh, the Masai Mara is great for cheetah. They love it because you've seen it in the videos. They like to hunt in wide open spaces. Their game is speed. So the Masai Mara is the best habitat in the world for cheetah. It's their Shangri-La, and this is your best spot to see cheetah. You will almost certainly see cheetah with a mother with cubs. They probably will be a little bit more grown up like this. When they're really little, they're like little fluff balls. And you're lucky if you see that, but you should see a cheetah family while you're there. Inclusions, all your meals are included, all your transfers, activities, game drives, taxes, all of that, your flights. The only things that are not included would be your visa, which you get ahead of time online, gratuities, laundry, which is very reasonable, $1 to $2 per piece. And I mean, this I can wash out in the sink if I like, and a lot of people bring stuff like that, but they do a great job. They get it back to you the same day. The laundry is excellent, and it's not expensive. So pack light. You can pack light, and then get all your souvenirs on the last day, and load them on the plane. We do have flying doctors evacuation service. So in concert with your travel insurance, that's the very first line. They just get you to the first major hospital. Then your insurance takes over, but whatever it is, we can get you to a hospital in less than 2 hours. Sometimes sooner. Not included. Okay, visas, gratuities, laundry, alcoholic beverages. Again, you know, beer's $2, $3. Glass of wine, same thing. Any of your extras, laundry, drinks, anything like that, you can settle up with a credit card right at the desk. Yeah, it's a pretty easy trip. The food is great, everything's planned for you, and you'll see a lot of great stuff. So, yeah, questions?
Yeah. If you guys are okay, I sort of had like a list of questions that I was collecting as we had been talking, so I thought maybe Jay and I could just kind of talk through them a little bit. But you just touched on money, and do you feel like we need to bring some local currency along for any reason?
Unless if you would like local currency, my advice is to take it out at the airport.
Yeah.
You know, they've got a Barclays Bank. So when you go to the airport, as long as you let your bank that you're traveling, you just withdraw $100 worth of local currency. And
Do you really need that, or?
No. I like to get it, you know, that's just my thing. It's a souvenir, it doesn't weigh much. But if you are interested in local currency, get it out of an ATM at the airport. It's my recommendation.
What kind of currency is it?
It's the the Kenyan shilling.
Otherwise, they just take credit card?
Oh,
Like
no, I mean, they take
souvenirs?
USD. They take USD everywhere.
Everywhere.
They take credit cards almost everywhere for almost everything.
Okay.
So you can get by with having 0 shillings. Dollars are just fine.
And credit cards, like all credit cards, or is there?
If you've had trouble with a credit card, like traveling internationally before, you might have trouble here. But if it's Visa, MasterCard, you're going to be fine. American Express sometimes. I don't know if they know what Diners Club is, but you know, just bring a Visa or MasterCard or maybe an Amex. But very widely accepted. Even if you want to get a Coca-Cola at a rest stop, they'll take a card.
What about tip money then?
Sure.
Does that go on your card?
Oh, okay, so that's a good point. So gratuities, like our drivers won't have a credit card point. So if you tip them in cash, that'd be the easiest.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so
US cash?
And just regular
Yeah,
US
USD.
dollars you get, and it is.
Oh,
Okay.
that's interesting.
So you're gonna have one person pick you up at the airport, and he's gonna be with you in Nairobi and in Jeddah and Samburu. Then when you fly down to the Mara, you're gonna have a different driver. I need to check with my office to see if we're setting our cars down or if we're gonna use the lodge's cars. I think we're setting cars down. I'll figure that out.
Maybe what, between Jay and I'll put together, we'll coordinate a list of like who we need to tip, and then like
Yeah.
Like
And yeah, how much
recommendations,
has
so that
it-
you know ahead of
What's
time.
appropriate? What's an appropriate tip?
Yes, and what's appropriate, so
Yeah.
that you can kind of plan ahead of time. And
Good.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay, that was a good question.
All right, what else? What else we got?
Well, okay, credit card, what to pack, what should we, kind of touched on that a little bit.
Yeah.
But like, do we need for that flight, do we need a smaller bag, or, yeah?
Because you're on a small domestic flight, even though sometimes they run a bigger plane on that, they have a restriction on your luggage of, I have to check the flight, but I think it's 20 kilograms, 44 pounds. And that includes your hand luggage, any cameras, and your all of your luggage together has to be 44 pounds or less.
Yes.
If you've got a CPAP machine or something medical that has to come, or if you really are really serious photographer and you've got a big case full of equipment, let us know ahead of time. Usually November is just off peak, so I don't see any problem with being able to get an extra allowance. We could purchase it ahead of time. But really, they enforce it out of safety and not out of trying to make an extra dollar. Some of the planes are small and they just really have to be careful about the weight limit. So they work with you as much as they can, but the more you can stick to that 44-pound limit, the easier it is for everybody. So no steamer trunks, no hat boxes. They prefer soft-sided duffels. They put them in the hold, and they can stuff more in there. So yeah, no hard-sided suitcases. If you've got a roller bag that's it's got wheels and a frame on one side, that's okay. Just make sure then you really don't overpack. If you've got a duffel that's like it's kind of a trade-off. If you've got a duffel that's 46 or 7 pounds, fine. If you've got a roller bag that's 50 pounds, then they're gonna
We don't need to bring a hair dryer
No.
or any of that.
All that'll be there. And in terms of what to wear, this is, you can go to REI's or Bass Pro Shops or Cabela's or whatever, and they'll have everything you need. You don't have to buy any special clothes though. Whatever you wear up here in the summer, or early summer is great. The mornings can be cool when you're at elevation, but it heats up fast. So if you've been to Hawaii, kind of, you know how that happens. This is what I wear. This is, I think, the brand is called Kuhl, K-U-H-L. I know they carry that at REI. And this is just a Columbia shirt, and I've had this for 10 years. So.
Too honest.
Well, if you need a new fishing shirt, go get one of these, and you're gonna have it for a while.
So you recommend like bring one pair of long pants and one pair of shorts or something like that, or?
I would bring maybe like 1 and 2 or 2 and 2, so that you can have something to wear while you're cleaning the other.
Mhm.
At nighttime, it's just like here. The mosquitoes come out at dusk. They are no worse than here. They're going to be fewer in drier areas and more where it's just rained, but they're worse in Wisconsin than they are in Kenya. So bring bug spray. So are we doing what to pack or what to wear? Just general what to pack.
Just one, yeah, this is
Okay.
good, bug spray's good, yeah.
So we'll put clothes aside for a second. Bring bug spray, sunblock. Have closed-toed shoes. You probably have for the airplane anyway. I like to wear flip-flops when I'm out on game drives, but I do bring closed-toed shoes. Either tennis shoes are fine. I wear boat shoes everywhere.
So no hiking, you're not doing.
If you love them and they and they're lightweight, sure, but you don't need them. No.
Okay, gotcha.
And what about with that then for like a sun hat, do you get any, because that's gonna, you're gonna be opening this?
I love this because I can roll these down. It's just like you've been on the lake all day. You're just, at the end of the day, you just need to get the sun off you. So yeah, a hat is great. And something where you can just cover it up. So bug spray, again, they have all this there, but get the kind you like and bring it. Bug spray, sunblock, thank you. Binoculars are great. Between each couple should have a pair of binoculars. Usually one person will be looking through the camera, one person will be using the binoculars. They give a much wider field of vision than the camera does, and they're great to have. We'll have extra pairs in case somebody forgets them.
I was just gonna ask on that, so, cause you wanna pack light, and you don't wanna have a lot of stuff with you as you're traveling. That was gonna be my question, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So you should bring like a camera and binoculars, or one or the other, or use your phone, or is a good camera better?
In my experience, it depends on how much you care, right? If you want great photos, bring a telephoto lens, or agree among yourselves before you go who's going to bring the big honking lens, and then we'll share. That works too. I find that my iPhone is the best for video. Truly the best. For still photos, if they're close, great. If they're far away, it's not great. But for video, you can't beat this. So if you guys are double teaming the photos, someone's got a camera and someone's got the iPhone, you've got everything covered. If you do have an iPhone, there's something called AirDrop. Probably have used it before. It is a great way to just share photos. You don't need Wi-Fi, you can share them right in the car. So, yeah, someone should bring a camera in the group. And binoculars are great. You can get little ones. I mean, we're not, you don't need the big ones.
I'll show you when we have time. My son was gonna buy us one, just sent it to me on my phone. He's got like 3 different ones, and I said, I'll show you if you don't mind, you can tell me which
Sure.
one you recommend.
Well, when you
It's
put
good to
everything
me for
together
Father's
and
Day.
you see how much 44 pounds is, you're gonna pick the little ones.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
I'll have you still look at it.
Sure.
Because yeah, you're right,
Too.
you gotta pick minimal, so. I'm
And,
used to
and
that
we'll
anyways.
have a big heavy bear in the car. Is anyone here a birder? No? Okay.
Birding.
Birding?
I like watching birds.
I'm a bird.
I've heard
I
that
like 'em,
it's
but-
good too.
You will start to like it over there.
Mhm.
They have, obviously ostriches, but they've got storks, cranes, pelicans, flamingos, something called a bustard. It's the largest, it's the heaviest bird that can fly. Tons of big birds. And then they've got all sorts of birds that live there, all sorts of birds that are migrating from Europe, because it's getting cold up there. there's a lot of cool stuff to look at bird-wise. But there are gonna be so many big animals that, we're gonna be focused on that first.
I guess if you wanna touch on, as far as
Oh,
shots
wait.
or vaccinations.
Christine, they had another question here.
What about toiletries, like bath towels?
Sure. Towels are all gonna be provided, any, like shower caps, things like that they'll have, hair dryers they'll have.
Shampoo, conditioner, soap.
They will have that, but if you like, you know, if you've gotta have a certain kind of soap, conditioner, or shampoo, bring it, and or we can arrange to buy it in Adobe, but if you have a certain kind, bring it in a little bottle. Let's see, what else about packing, toiletries? You're gonna need to go see your doctor. He'll probably prescribe anti-malaria pills. There are different kinds. Some interact with heart medication, so just ask. It's always smart. They're usually one a day. But the best prevention against mosquitoes is to cover up at night a little bit and wear bug spray. Just don't get bit. I mean, truly, and it's not hard to do. I sprayed my ankle. So, what else about toiletries? Shoes, we talked about shoes. You have to have at least one pair of closed-toed shoes in case you're out of the vehicle. Even in the Masai Mara, they have areas where you can get out of the car. It is a national park, so you don't go walking everywhere. There are areas where they have toilets. If it is an emergency, there's a roll of toilet paper in the car. Everybody looks this way. It's been done before, it's fine. Yeah, you'll return to camp to use the bathroom at lunch. There are some in the park here and there. But our guides are very good about timing that and kind of sensing the mood. They'll make sure you're not caught.
For packing,
Yeah.
charging and stuff, what kinds of outlets, electricity, anything?
Okay, great. Yeah, so the electricity is the British standard. It's the G, type G, Golf G. If you've got a European, if you've been to the UK and you bought a UK plug, you already have what you need. But it looks like this. I have some that I can loan the group. And this is the big version. This has got 1, 2 plugs, and then 2 USBs. Each tent's gonna have at least one plug, probably 2. But yeah, as long as you have one of these.
So we should bring one along?
Yeah, make sure you've got one, or get one from Christine that I've given you guys. It will have 2 sockets and then 2 USB ports. So
And if I look it up on Amazon or a store, is it just a UK plug or what do you?
Yeah, type G.
Type G?
And here, I'll show you. They don't cost very much, and then you can use it next time you go to London. There's 24-hour electricity. If someone has a CPAP machine, the only thing sometimes we need to know is if you have a really short cord on it, we need to know that because sometimes the outlet can be across the tent. But we have charging points in the car to top off your phone. It's not a bad idea to bring a little power bank, but you can get away without having that.
Just real quick.
Yep, that's
On
right.
with the clothes thing, so kind of like what you got, what is the temperature fluctuation you think we'll see?
The highs during the day will be in the low 80s, and it'll get into the 60s, low 60s at night to sleep. It'll be real comfortable.
Wow.
It will be mostly dry. In Samburu especially, it'll be dry. But if it does rain, I've been there in November maybe 6 times, and I'd say 3 of the times it didn't rain at all, and the other 3 times, like one, we got a really cool big thunderstorm sweeping through, actually at the lodge you're gonna be at, and those are cool because you can see them coming miles
Would
and
you
miles away.
still go out if it's raining or?
Yeah.
Or is it?
I mean, it depends, we're not,
I like stuff.
but, the smell the smell of grass after it rains, it's pretty epic there. It's neat when it rains, so I hope it does rain a little bit for you, but it's not gonna rain all day, it's not gonna be gloomy and overcast. It should be sunny during the days and cool at night.
Language,
two official languages in Kenya, English and Swahili. Our guides will speak both, so they'll be happy to teach you some Swahili. Swahili is actually pretty widely spoken in East Africa. There are little dialects here and there, but someone from Kenya can understand someone from Tanzania, Rwanda, Uganda, even into the Congo. It's a pretty widely spoken language.
The time difference?
Depends on, I think it's, if we're in daylight savings, it's either 7 or 8. But that means when you get back from your game drives, if you want to call your grandkids, it's the right time to do it. I just know that from experience. we get back to camp and everyone calls their families and grandkids are still up. So that's kind of the time.
And is there Wi-Fi?
There is, and it gets better and better every year. You should expect there to be Wi-Fi in the main areas and not in your tent. And that Wi-Fi, again, is getting better and better, but don't plan to stream like all 7 seasons of Mad Men. Download if you want to watch something, bring it along. But it is enough to do email. It's enough to do FaceTime. It's enough to do all the things we need to do.
So the e-visa, I know we have to do that. I can help. I can have them come in to the office and help them with that. And when about should we get that taken care of? The cost.
Sure. It used to be an on-arrival visa. They've moved to an e-visa system. So you're going to apply online. They're going to send you approval, and you have to print it out. Even though it's an e-visa, you must print it out and bring it with you. It is sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. We will walk you through it. Once you've submitted your application, it takes between 24 and 48 hours to approve. So it's not something you've got to do 3 months in advance. So we will do it with plenty of time to spare.
Once you guys get a hold of us with that
Yeah,
then?
because I was going to coordinate it with everybody.
Okay.
So
We'll give everybody enough time to make sure they have their passport. You'll need a picture of yourself against the blank wall, like a passport picture. You can't take a picture of your passport picture, but a picture of the front of your passport, your information page, and then I will supply a copy of your hotel reservations. And you upload those 4 things, fill in the rest of the blanks. It's $52, I believe, with the service fees. You pay with your credit card. There is a new service offered by our organization called Cato, the Kenya Association of Tour Operators. They charge an extra $20, but you just send them everything and they do the rest. It may be worth it. Also, our office is in Nairobi. If anybody runs into any problems, if they don't send you the approval code, or you paid for it but it hasn't come through, or whatever, all the little things that can happen, you'll just give us your application number and we'll figure it out locally. We'll just walk over to the immigration ministry and sort it out. So, we'll make sure you're prepared for it, but it's not something to stress about.
yeah, I guess just in general, I think what I will do is schedule appointments with each of you, just so you can come into the office and we'll go through it together and just maybe we'll coordinate.
I have a visa for Australia already.
Yeah.
Is that applicable?
No, you will need a separate one to go to Africa. Yeah, to go to Kenya, I should say.
Okay.
Yep.
It's cool. It's cool. I think there are some I've got one in my passport. I can take a look. And the standard thing with your passports, you need 6 months validity, and you need, I think, 3 pages open. But we've got plenty of time to make sure we handle all that.
And vaccinations, I guess, do you want to just kind of, so
It's really
we should definitely go see your doctor.
Yep, make an appointment.
Okay, and just our normal.
If there's a travel clinic around here, they tend to be more efficient at it, but you can go see your GP.
Okay.
They'll know. Really, the only thing is malaria pills. They'll prescribe them. Most people take them. Some people don't. My mom refuses to take them. They actually give me a little bit of an upset stomach, so I will take them. And if the mosquitoes aren't bad, I'll stop taking them. But I've also met people who've gotten bitten and have malaria. Sorry.
Yeah.
It causes memory loss. I
You
have
should
not had
just
it.
stop taking your pills.
No, I know, right? So it's something you don't want to get, but if the mosquitoes aren't bad and you've got protection, you're set, you're protected.
Well, I guess you guys gonna have a list, because I don't know if my doctor's dumb or whatever, because I just saw him not too long ago.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it, he said, no, you gotta get a list of immunizations you need, bring it to me and I'll coordinate it with you.
Okay, so
So he
that's-
didn't have a clue of what I'm supposed to get, so.
And some don't. Some, I've heard horror stories. One had a doctor who was there during World War II. I don't know why he was there in World War II, but he got sick and he's like afraid of everything. So the CDC will give you a list, and on that list is things you should consider, and things that are required for entry. Required for entry is nothing. No COVID vaccinations will be asked for, and no yellow fever vaccinations will be asked for. So if you're going just to Kenya and going home just from Kenya, you need nothing to get in or get out. The CDC will say to protect your health, you should consider malaria pills, a yellow fever vaccination, typhoid, hepatitis. But if you look at why they recommend those are if you are, staying there in the Peace Corps, if you're drinking well water, if you're eating street food, stuff like that. So most travelers do not need that. But if your doctor, says you need all these things, I can never, override the opinion of your doctor, but you can get a second opinion.
But it's not
Well, like I said, he had no
required.
clue, so that's why you didn't give us like a list, or should I write down what you just said? or-
We'll get you some.
I'll get you a list.
And
I'll-
we've got
Yeah, I was shocked, cause I thought he might know, I don't know, he says, I can't give you nothing till I get a list. Okay, so.
We do have travel documents that we'll share. It's gonna have, by the way, it's gonna have what to pack, the currency, the electricity, all that stuff. But it's good to just kind of wrap your head around it first.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Good.
Yeah, so good, yeah. I don't think I have
Is that-
anything
is that
else,
kinda-
and that was kind of the list.
We got everything checked.
Did you guys think of anything else, question-wise?
Are we gonna just be like, just us, our group, and, or is there gonna be a ton of Jeeps all going at once kind of thing? Like, do we all stay
It's just
together?
gonna be, so how many are in the group right now?
So there'll be 8 of us.
Okay, so
Maybe
our
not.
vehicles hold 6, so you'll be in at least 2 vehicles.
We get pulled behind.
You'll have, you'll have plenty of room in the vehicles, everyone has a window seat, and it's just the 2 vehicles, you guys kind of go do your own thing.
But it's just this group, there's no other people gonna join?
Nope, just you guys, you have a private safari.
Private.
What's great about that also is that your guide gets to know you, and gets to know what you like, knows what you've seen. So he's not gonna say, oh, this is a reticulated giraffe, because he knows you've seen 6 or 10 of them. So it's a great way to travel. It's fully private. You guys can decide if you wanna switch vehicles at any point, or who gets to sit where. I'm not gonna get involved in that, but yeah, it's private.
The other part of our, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
The other part of our question was, do you see a lot of other vehicles?
It depends on where you are. Typically, no. In November, it's a great time to go because it's not crowded. If though you are in the Masai Mara near a main road and something really cool happens, like a lion takes down a whatever, you will see maybe 8 or 10. They'll all radio each other and tell you that. So that's the only time. But our guides are great because you're just the 2 vehicles. Especially if you pack a picnic lunch, we can get these are really big national parks. Some of the more the more mainstream tours with bigger groups, they'll just stick to the main roads. We can get way far out and away from stuff. But yeah, if there's a really incredible sighting and it's near a main road, you'll see other vehicles. And you'll see them at camp, and you'll meet other people at camp, and you'll know they're Americans as soon as you see them. And if you can't tell where in the U.S. they are, they're from Canada.
Do you ever go into town to get like souvenirs or see what it's like there downtown?
Yeah, so the Norfolk is right on the it's right next to the university, and it's right near the downtown Nairobi. So there's an old colonial downtown. It's a little bit like, have you guys been to Atlanta or Houston? It's that it's got a couple little clusters of buildings. It's not quite like Chicago. So there's a hill over here that's got a bunch of buildings, and the main downtown is here where the government stuff is. You will see the city, especially as you drive in, and then you're gonna see, it's really cool to see how people live in different areas as you're driving up north. And it's definitely different than the way the Maasai live in the south. They're completely separate. So yeah, on your drive up to Old Jeddah and then again to Samburu, you'll see farms and you'll see people little villages, and you'll see, you know, roadside souvenir stuff, you know, and you'll get a Coke, and, you know, it's kind of like anywhere else, but, yeah, you'll really get to see how people live.
How long is the hot air?
Hot air balloon is in the Masai Mara, and I believe it's $550.
And how long?
Oh, I'm sorry, how long?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Oh, so the weather is pretty constant there, and that means the wind is pretty constant. They have a prevailing wind, so you're gonna get up early, I'm gonna warn you, you know, 4 o'clock, 4:30, 4:30, I think, let's say 4:30. But you get up, and just as the sun's starting to come up, that's when they're filling the balloons. And then it's about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on how fast the wind's blowing. They know the wind speed, they know the direction, so they kind of know where you're gonna land, and that's where they have the bush breakfast set up. And that is champagne, omelets to order, fresh fruit, yogurt, granola, whatever you need. If you want something else, just tell them. You know, fresh passion fruit that they grow, you know, just down the way. And they have a bathroom there too. So if you want to drink the champagne, but it's funny, you're sitting at a table, you know, just like that, and there's an omelet station right here, and then there's a zebra over there. And when you show up, they kind of move off, but after you've been there and you've been, you know, not doing anything crazy for 20, 30 minutes, they start getting closer and closer and closer. It's wonderful. It's a really nice way to spend a day. So you're going to be done pretty early, and you're going to probably want to take a nap. So do a game drive on the way back to camp. If you guys are warriors and want to stay out, that's the other thing. If there's anything you want to see, any animal you're really interested in, because it's private, you guys can do that. If you want to sit and look at, you know, a mama and baby hippo for an hour, great, do it. If this vehicle wants to do it, but the other vehicle doesn't, great, do it. So that's what's nice about private safaris. Yeah. So the balloon, that's a half day, and then you'll go out that afternoon as well on a game drive.
She kind of stole my question.
I'm sorry.
That's cool.
And Kristen
You're
said
gonna see a
everybody
ton of
signed
animals,
up.
I'm sure, up there.
Okay, what's really cool about it, one is that, you know, it's like sailing versus powerboating. You know, it's just
Right.
quiet.
Never done it. So.
Never done it.
Okay, well, it's just quiet. You know, it's in versus being in the vehicle. You know, it's just a different. You hear different stuff. Or versus walking versus being in the park.
How many people go up in them at one time?
They've got different sizes. I think they've got like a 6-pack and a 12-pack and a 6-pack.
That's
And it's funny because some of them you are in your little cubbies.
Okay.
So it is really.
What is the time change?
It's 7 to 8 hours depending on the time of year. I think when you're there it's 7. But it's a nice. There's a couple windows where you can call back home or talk to people back home, or if you're on vacation but not really on vacation, you get a few things done. I hope not too many of you guys are doing that, but it's just nice. It's just a nice trip. The one thing we talked about food and all that. You are going to drink bottled water the whole time. You're going to brush your teeth with bottled water. Yeah, and I still do that. So that'll be provided to you in the hotels, in the camps, and then we're going to have water for you in the vehicles. So you don't need to worry about that. We will give you a water bottle. Don't pack one of those. Things to don't pack. Do not pack an umbrella. You're not going to need it. Do not pack anything that's camouflage. The rangers and anti-poaching units will get very mad at you. Drones are not allowed in case any of you guys are. Tends to be, you know, kids that like it, but that's kind of about it.
Do you recommend like a shirt like you have on, or like, you know, just a lightweight jacket?
Well, you know what ends up happening for me is whatever lightweight jacket I bring for the plane, you know, I bring like a light puffer jacket or something, because, you know, you never know if the plane's gonna be super hot or super cold. That tends to be what I wear in the morning. But yeah, I bring like a North Face puffer or a Patagonia or a REI, whatever it is. Yeah, a light jacket is great. For rain, if you want to bring a light rain jacket, you can, but you're really not going to need it. It rains briefly and then it dries out. And don't feel like you need to go out and buy a bunch of stuff. I've seen pictures of myself at 13 in Kenya, and you can tell it's 1993, and I've got bright colors. And my mom was going to go out and buy clothes for 3 kids, right? You know, just safari clothes. So it's nice to look neutral and you know, you do blend in, but you know, don't feel like you have to go get a whole new wardrobe. And then when you're back in camp, wear whatever you like.
What's the average temperature?
During the days, during the clear sunny day, it's gonna get into the mid-80s. And then at night, down into the 60s usually.
Dry, humid.
It should be dry, but if there's a thunderstorm coming through, you know, Samburu will be dry, Olpejeta should be dry, Nairobi should be dry. The Masai Mara can get some storms, but it should be very pleasant weather.
Do you recommend a certain kind of bug spray for the
Oh,
mosquitoes?
that's a good question, actually. Don't get the 100% DEET. You don't need it. You're not going, you know, in the mangrove swamps down in Mexico or Belize or something, I've seen swarms where you can actually see the swarm of mosquitoes. It is nothing like that. Deep woods off, regular off is gonna be fine, but if don't get anything crazier than deep woods. That 100% DEET stuff will melt. It'll take the fingernail polish right off. It'll discolor leather. It is, and if it breaks in your suitcase, oh man, which has happened to me. So yeah, don't bring that stuff.
Do you still have to be under 3 ounces?
On the domestic flights, I don't think so because it's going to go in the hold. So the 3 ounces, your international carrier might have rules. Yeah, kind of, not really though. But again, you're not going to need, you know, you're only going to need that much bug spray for the whole trip. And if you run out, they've got it there. It's just not the kind you're used to. So yeah, you don't have to bring a ton of toiletries either. There are 100. I'll think of 100 other things, but we'll just, as the questions come up, Christine will walk you through them.
Are we gonna see Crocs?
Oh yeah.
We will see them.
Hopefully,
Well, if we
hopefully
stop
you
there,
see them before they see
Yeah.
you.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know, are they the big ones?
They are the very, very big ones. They're
They'll
Nile
take down the
crocodiles.
wildebeest, right? They'll take down the wildebeest.
That's what he wants
That's
to
what you
see.
see, wow, I mean, that's crazy.
And you might see that. So,
Okay.
so the lodge you're at, the Serena, I'm gonna back up here. The Masai Mara is kind of an area. There's a core called the Mara Triangle, and that's the proper national land. And there are only a few camps in there and lodges, and this is one of them. So you're inside the park gates.
Nice.
Then there's a kind of a patchwork of private conservancies and other things, you know. But you're in the core of the Masai Mara. You know, one side of it is Tanzania, the river, so you're going to be able to go down and see those crossings if they're still doing that. Yeah.
Wow, nice, okay.
And the Crocs are there year round. You know, they don't
How big
migrate.
do they get, those Crocs?
We'll have to look it up, but you know,
Well,
they
they're
can get
like
up to like
1,000 pounds,
12 feet, probably bigger.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's huge.
And the Crocs and the hippos have their own like little detente. Hippos are my favorite. In the morning, you're gonna hear the hippos in the river. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Why don't you preface what you decided and then?
So this is so I have all our air booked and we are now going to, my friend Diana from Dynasty Limousine is gonna take us to Chicago. So you guys can come to my office and park, and you're welcome to keep your vehicle there the whole while. There's not that many of us and I have plenty of parking. Or if you want family to come get the vehicle or what have you, however you wanna work that. But we'll get picked up from the office and then we'll head to Chicago. And our flight, I kinda have the tentative times in your folder.
This would be October 31st.
Yes. Oh, sorry, yes. Thank you, yes, October 31st, yes. So yeah, so then the flight leaves at 9:45 in the morning and we arrive into Ethiopia at 7:30.
Yep. Addis Ababa.
That's where we're going. It's at 7:30 in the morning. And they have a quick turnaround, and I guess that was one thing I wanted Jay to kind of address. We leave at 8:15, so it's a quick connection. So
Sure.
do you wanna?
The airline is Ethiopian Airlines. They are Star Alliance. They are the oldest continually operating airline in Africa. I met their CEO. He went to Harvard. He lived here. You know, it's a really well run airline. They fly a 777. What are they flying over? Oh, a 787-8. They fly nice planes. They're new planes. The in-flight entertainment always works. It's, again, Star Alliance, if you got a United number, you can throw it on the reservation maybe. They only offer 2 classes of service. There's economy and there's business. There's no premium, but one nice thing about them, there are 2 nice things. One is that they don't charge much for seat assignments. So if you want a bulkhead seat, I think it's only like $150 for like a 12 or 13-hour flight. They do allow you to bid for an upgrade on business, and it's usually about, pre-pandemic, it was about $1,000 per segment. But if you're doing an overnight flight and you want to do it, that's great. It'll just give you the option before you travel. They fly out of Addis Ababa. It's the capital of Ethiopia. It is almost exclusively Ethiopian Airlines planes, and they have that place. In Africa, you can't compare much to Swiss Precision, because it doesn't exist. But in Ethiopia, at their hub, they have it down to a science. It's like a cross-docked, warehouse. It is like a rectangle, and they've got gates. It's easy to connect. They've had this connection. It's a 45-minute connection, but they've had that connection time for the last 8 or 9 years, ever since they inaugurated service from Chicago. My mom's been on it. I have an uncle who doesn't walk very well. He's been on it. Every client I've sent, I'm talking dozens and dozens, have made the connection. Their bags all make the connections. So while it will, as you're getting ready to land, you're probably going to be a little bit, okay, we got to get this done.
Yeah.
It'll happen. It'll be fine. And it's great because you're not sitting at Heathrow for 8 hours.
Right.
And the other thing is, God forbid, it is October 31st when you're leaving. If there's a huge storm here, or whatever, there are 2 more flights to Nairobi that day. So even if you miss the connection, you're getting there that same day. The benefits are, it is the fastest way to get to Africa from Chicago, or from most places in the U.S. It is at least 3 hours shorter than the next quickest. And you get into Nairobi at
10 in the morning, which is
10:25 in the morning.
10:25.
If you're on KLM or Air France, you're getting it at 9 p.m. and getting up the next morning on Safari. So you guys are gonna have all afternoon. You're gonna see the sun. Your body can kind of reset a little bit. It's gonna be, for a little bit of stress in Ethiopia, you get a lot of benefits. So I think it's the right choice. And they run a great airline.
What are they flying on?
Is there any process they have to do on that connection? Passports, custom, nothing? It's just a regular, kind of like a domestic
Get on the other plane.
connection?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And if the Chicago flight coming in is delayed even by a little bit, they're gonna walk you to the next plane. They will take care of you. It is their base, it's their hub, and they do a good job. So I think you picked the right ones.
Okay, yeah, and then we fly them home, send them home,
And what also is nice is you leave Chicago out of Terminal 5 at 9:45 in the morning. There's nobody in security at that time. It's a little different now that Delta's there and Spirit, but it used to be a ghost town. So
This is 13-hour flight, if I'm not mistaken.
is it 13?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you have normally munchies and stuff for that travel day?
They're gonna feed you. I mean, if that, well, okay, so what to pack? If you have anything that's kind of like a little security blanket for if it's a granola bar, or if it's whatever it is that just makes you just pack it. Be careful about too much food in your tents because there are monkeys.
Yeah.
And they might like what you have too. So travel, if you want travel munchies, great, but don't plan to have a lot of extra food in your tents. Yeah.
This will be my first trip traveling that long on a flight.
Yeah.
Is there ability to get out?
Yep.
Because I've never.
And we'll check the see how full it is. I don't think it's going to be too bad. I think you're going to have room to spread out.
Compression stockings probably is a good idea.
That's a great idea. But yeah, anytime you have a long flight, I remember the first flight I had that was that long, and it's not that different than an 8-hour flight to Europe. I know it sounds like it, but I recommend don't drink too much. Drink plenty of water. They usually have Romancing the Stone on there. I don't know why. Over the 8 years, it's always been loaded on their in-flight entertainment. And I think that's a great movie. So You know, the difference between an 8-hour and a 13-hour flight is you watch one more movie or you take one more nap. And I gotta tell you, it is the best way to do it, so you don't fly, 8.5 hours and sit in London for eight more hours and then you get there, you get it done. And they have nice planes, new planes, they've got the newest fleet in Africa, and everything works and everything's nice. Yeah. I actually flew them from Addis down to Victoria Falls, and one of the laboratories wasn't working. We're like, no, let's go. They're like, no, we can't do that. We have rules here too. They got us off the plane, they got us a sandwich, a bottle of water, they got us on a brand new plane in like 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So they know what they're doing, they run a good airline.
Perfect.
Yep.
I can't think of anything else that I kind of had. That was kind of the list that I had collected from you guys. I did take some notes, so I'll kind of type this up and send you guys an email with all the notes. So, but yeah, I think that kind of takes care of it. If you want to visit a little